Welcome to Green Psych Sports Psychology, we are pleased to present Sports Psychology, a career for you. My name is Michael Sachs. I'm a retired professor from Temple University, and I work with Green Psych Sports Psychology. And we thought we'd put together this short slideshow for those students and professionals who might be interested in the potential of sports psychology as a career. And so for the first question we really have to ask is, what is your passion? We sometimes ask about what is your why, or what is your North Star, or so on. But the bottom line really is, what are you passionate about? Are you passionate about sports? Perhaps as a spectator, a fan, a participant, parent, coach, referee? Are you passionate about psychology as a career? Do you want to help others with the mental side of sport and exercise and performance? If so, then great news. A career in sport, exercise, and/or performance psychology may be the right direction for you. So within sports psychology, practitioners work with athletes, coaches, and their parents, and they can work on a variety of things. They may work on psychological skills, such as goal setting, arousal control, imagery, attentional control, and self-talk. They may work with athletes and sport participants on clinical issues, such as eating disorders, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, recovery from injury, and other mental health issues. And then they may also work with on team-related issues, team dynamics, group cohesion, leadership, coach-athlete relationships. If you've been an athlete or work with athletes, you're certainly familiar with all these as potential issues that athletes deal with. Some of us, particularly myself, are especially interested in exercise psychology. So those of us who work in this area work with folks who exercise on a regular basis. Now, we may work on the same skills or issues as sports psychologists do, but most of our work deals with motivation for exercise, adherence to exercise, sticking with it, and addiction to exercise. And then there are individuals in our fields who work in what we call performance psychology. So these are, again, similar issues to sport and exercise psychologists, but we deal with different populations. So they may be performing artists, such as musicians. A lot of us work with in the military, the special forces. We work with police officers, firefighters, pilots, and other performance domains. Any domain where things like anxiety or negative self-talk or having trouble concentrating might affect your ability to perform, and you need to perform on that stage, in that scene, whatever it might be, at that very moment. Now, where can individuals get degrees in exercise, sport, performance psychology work? Well, a lot of us work in academia. I was a professor for over 30 years, and you certainly work with individuals who are professors. But a fair number of us work in collegiate or university athletic departments as sports psychologists. Some of us work in college or university counseling centers, and we may work with regular students, but also student athletes. Some of us work in college or university athletic academic advising centers to help athletes not only remain eligible, of course, but be successful in their academic careers. Quite a few of us work in private practice. We may have psychology private practices, counseling practices, may do mental skills coaching. And then, as I mentioned, the military employs almost 300 individuals with master's and doctoral degrees in sports psychology. So let's say you're thinking about pursuing sports psychology as an academic, as a career. So what's the best academic preparation? Well, for an undergraduate, the ideal is a dual major of psychology and kinesiology or exercise and sports science, whatever they call it at your university. Second choice would be majoring in one and minoring in the other. And the third choice is majoring in one and taking courses in the other. But you can always follow up later on. I've had students in my graduate program who had undergraduate degrees in English or political science or so on. So it's never too late to change direction, shall we say, and get the background that you might need. So while the undergraduate may be somewhat straightforward from that standpoint, at the graduate level, we say it gets a bit complicated. You really do need graduate training in order to be potentially successful in our field. So first you have to decide if you want to be a psychologist or a licensed professional counselor at the master's level. You have to think, do you want to work with people on their clinical issues like depression, anxiety, eating disorder, substance abuse issues? If so, that's great. And becoming a licensed professional counselor or a psychologist is what you want to do. If not, maybe you know you're going to encounter some of these issues, but you really want to work with people on psychological skills, such as goal setting, arousal or anxiety control, imagery, self-talk, attention, concentration. This is called psychological skills or mental skills coaching, and it's really more educational rather than clinical. So at the graduate level, as we said, you first have to decide if you want to do a PhD or a PsyD in clinical or in counseling psychology. You may be able to find a graduate program in psychology that has a track for specialization in sports psychology. You can, of course, first get a degree in kinesiology or the exercise and sports sciences, focusing on those psychological skills we mentioned, like goal setting, and then go on for a degree in psychology to focus on the clinical issues. That's pretty common. But as we said, it's complicated. Now, a great place to get information on graduate programs and how to make the decisions mentioned above is the Directory of Graduate Programs in Applied Sports Psychology. That's edited by Kevin Burke, myself, and Rachel Tomlinson, and is published by one of our main professional associations, the Association for Applied Sports Psychology. If you go to the website indicated, appliedsportspsych.org, you'll be able to get some information about that. If you're interested in more information about clinical and counseling psychology, there is a great book called The Insider's Guide to Graduate Programs in Clinical and Counseling Psychology, and you can Google that or look on one of the websites and find information about that. For those who are students, we certainly encourage you to consider joining as a student member of our main professional associations. That can give you lots of great information, and its cost is eminently reasonable. ASP is the Association for Applied Sports Psychology, and you can see the website address there. And Division 47 is one of the 56 divisions of the American Psychological Association, and Division 47 is the Society for Sport, Exercise, and Performance Psychology. So you may have some questions after this, almost certainly you do. And after reading the Directory of Graduate Programs in Applied Sports Psychology and other resources from ASP and APA Division 47. So I encourage you, if you'd like, to join me every month at greenpsych.com. We're going to have a free question and answer session. And you can check the website at greenpsych.com for that. Or you can email me at msachs@greenpsych.com for additional information. And so, as I said, I thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, first Monday of every month from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, we'll have that virtual office hours, or you can schedule a time to talk with me individually at the address. So thanks very much, and enjoy your sport or exercise or performance participation, and have a great day.